people kept asking me yesterday, like, Maria, why are people so scared of you? Like, why do I hear that you're so mean? I don't think you're mean. I feel like I'm so little and like not intimidating. Welcome to the Tip the Scales podcast, where we discuss running and growing your law firm.
I'm your host, Jenn Gore, interviewing the Maria Monroy.
Yeah, this is twisted. I don't know how I let her do this to me. I asked her.
We're going to get into what's going on in SEO.
Yes, and in just marketing in general, the shift that we are seeing happen. We talked about
our friendship.
We talked about conferences and dressing up for conferences.
How you're intimidating everyone.
Oh yeah, how everyone's scared of me. Just so weird to me, but okay.
And how you're actually such a lovely person.
Thank you. Thank you for taking over.
Stay tuned. Maria.
Jenn.
We're on your podcast today.
I guess it's yours today.
Well, I do like to take over.
I guess, yeah.
It's been quite fun.
I'm glad. Thank you for working for me for free. I really appreciate it.
How do you get people to do that?
I learned it from Dan Ambrose.
That's so true.
I really did.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Somebody said that to him the other day at lunch. They're like, how do you get everyone to work for you for free?
No, they pay him.
That's even better.
I know. When are you going to pay me for coming on?
Would you like to give away this podcast to a buyer?
No.
You built such a big presence here.
I don't know about that, but thank you.
Okay, Maria, it's 2025. What is going on in marketing right now from your vantage point?
I don't know how I feel about you taking over. I don't know that I like this.
You love it.
We did this so long ago. We haven't done it again.
And I don't think we ever posted one.
We did one. And Vegas, I think it was TLU like 3 years ago. When I first started the podcast, you took over very early on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The last one we did, you interviewed me.
Yeah.
So I get to put you in the hot seat today.
Okay. So marketing in 2025. So I feel like people are not going to like hearing this, but we are really moving towards so I have a lot of things to say, but let's just focus on digital for a second. Digitally, we're really moving towards a blended cost per case.
Interesting. So for people that don't know what that means, say more.
So let's say you're doing local service ads, Google ads, local SEO, organic SEO. Used to be that we would measure each of these channels separately. Correct. And we'd measure a cost per case, and we still do, right? Because we want to make sure that each channel is working as intended and you're not getting like 0 cases from it, right? But what happens is when let's say you're doing local service ads and SEO and you add Google ads, right? There is like what I call the unintended consequence of adding Google ads, meaning you add Google ads and all of a sudden your LSA and especially your local and organic SEO cases go up.
Way up. It's like a synergy.
Exactly. It is. It's a synergy. It's synergistically, like they work together. So It's a holistic approach, right? So that's really crucial to like think about and look at, because if you're only measuring Google ads and say your cost per case is $6,000 and you're like, I'm not comfortable with this cost per case, but your cases overall from other digital channels went up by 8 cases, and that brings your PPC cost per case down to, whatever,
$1,800 or whatever.
Whatever it is, right? So really looking at, I'm putting X money into digital. What's my return? Because they all work synergistically, like you said.
I saw this same trend, and I can completely verify. We did something where we turned one of them down or whatever, and it had an effect on all things.
Yeah.
And I agree that it's much harder to get a true attribution on just LSA. I think that you can make bad decisions and start cutting things because you're like, oh, well, this isn't too working. High. And we did that. And I'm going to tell you another thing. If you do that, I used to think I never really dialed marketing back in 10 years. We were always ramping. And I was always taking the approach, never turn marketing down. And we did last year turn one of the channels down. And I thought, okay, it'll be fine. I could just turn it back up if I don't like the result. And it took us 3 to 6 months to regain the momentum of turning something down. And that was very alarming because it's better to just keep it going You know, have you seen that with your clients? Like they turn something off and then how long does it take you to get it back up? Because that's the consequence that I think a lot of people don't think about when they go up and down with their marketing.
Yeah. So let me read you what a client said to me.
Similar situation?
No, we're looking at it from the other perspective of like, I turned something on, the cost per case isn't great, but my cases overall went up. My cost per case overall is this. So this is what the client said. Last 4 months of 2024, we spent $524,000 with LawRank and it brought in 223 cases, making the cost per case $23.49, which is
great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So, and this is LSA, Google Ads, local organic
But
SEO.
if they were looking at one channel, it might look way skewed.
And it does. So like his cost per case on PPC is pretty high, but he's getting like, I don't know, 10, 15 more cases from LSA and SEO that he wasn't getting before. And I had warned him about this. I was like, there are two ways we're going to measure. We're going to measure just what's coming from PPC, and we're going to measure the unintended consequence. What's really crucial here, though, is that the reason why people say Google Ads doesn't work, there are many reasons, right? The way you're running a campaign, is your budget too low? But one of the biggest reasons is if you're not ranking in the LSA pack and in the local SEO component and organic component, your cost per case from PPC is going to be like absurd. Like I've heard of like $20,000 cost per case, right? But if you're ranking in the other channels, that's when it really works. Because again, you're creating synergy.
Correct.
So there's a time and a place to introduce PPC. Now, if you have a brand, if you do billboards, TV, you can always do PPC. Like you don't need to wait until you're ranking on the first page for all the other channels, right? But if you don't have a brand, you do have to wait. That's the key component. It's like the last thing you want to introduce because it just saturates the first page, right?
Yes.
So that's one thing that we are noticing a shift in, and like we're even shifting the way we talk to our clients about this stuff, right? The other thing that I've noticed is that you could do really well before with like one channel.
You could.
And just saturate that channel and like literally just live off that channel, right? And we're moving into a time where one channel isn't enough. Like doing one thing right is no longer enough.
I honestly agree with that wholeheartedly. I think that firms are getting more sophisticated. A lot of people are understanding you need to run your law firm like a business, and it is becoming more competitive. And people understand that you have to do multiple of these. The newer generation law firms, they're doing that. So I think that is going to maintain. That's going to continue.
It's going to get worse and worse, in my opinion. Like, at some point, 2 channels isn't going to be enough. You're going to need to saturate 3. And then there's like another component, which like I know I've talked about so many fucking times, but like I think it's even more crucial now, and that's reviews. I've literally seen firms, same results, same market. One signing 40 cases from SEO, one signing 2.
I've also seen people about to sign up with a firm, and then they read the reviews and then they decide against. Yeah. If you've got bad reviews, that's another problem.
Or if you're not, I mean, I always say this, you don't want to have 5.0, 1,500 reviews. Like that doesn't look legit. You want to have 4.9, I don't know, 700 reviews. And the bad reviews, you're responding in a professional manner where you make someone feel like, well, if I had an issue with this firm, they care about customer service. They care about the client. They're professional, right? That's what you want. And like to rank in the local pack, you need a consistency of reviews, but to convert and get the client to call, as a rule of thumb, you need the volume. And the score. Right?
So what would you rather do? Have 4 GMBs where you have to spread your reviews around, and let's say you're a firm that you're like not a huge firm and you're worried about how am I going to get enough reviews, or have 2 GMBs but stack in all your reviews? Like which direction do you go? Because that's the limiting factor to getting more GMBs.
And it becomes like a catch-22 where it's like, I need the cases to get the reviews, but I need the reviews to get the cases, right? I would say start with 1 GBP. Like,
Yep.
get it to where it's performing at its max peak so the upkeep is easier. Like, okay, we don't need to get it to 200 reviews or 500 reviews. Like, it's there already. We just need to consistently get reviews, and then we shift our energy to growing the next GMB. So, like, I always tell people, like, baby steps. Like, let's maximize what you have, because I could sell you 4 GMBs. I'm going to charge you more if I do, right? But it's not going to work. And, like, it's crazy because we will have firms that will be like, this doesn't work. And they're ranking in the 3-pack, they're ranking top 3 organically, but they don't have a lot of reviews. And it's like, no, this does work.
But I think this really goes back to the fact of the mindset around working with an agency. Like, if you go into working with an agency where you're like, they're going to do everything for me, that's a different frame of mind than like a lot of people that work with you and that I'm friends with that work with you. Like, they view it as, you're going to do your part, Maria, and our firm is going to. Don't you think that's like the magic factor?
You hit the nail on the head, and Mariano and I talk about this constantly. It's like everything gets imputed to us, and then they don't do their part, and like this doesn't work, or like we're the bad guy or whatever, right? But it's like, no, like you have to do your part. You got to get intake correctly. Like you got to treat it like sales, because it is sales. You have to have reviews, like period. Like these 2 things are so crucial, right? And if a firm isn't willing to do their part and they're just like, I'm hiring you to do this and then work your magic, it's like, well, it's not 2010. Like,
maybe that was the approach.
Yeah, in
then.
2010, when there was no local pack, like, yeah, like you would get so many calls. It was like, now we have to also understand that markets, like channels are, how do I explain this? It's like, it's too spread out, right? Like you have so many different channels now. You have TV, you have OTT, you have,
Facebook,
TikTok, Instagram, Connect TV, like you have so many things,
places to go,
right?
Yeah.
Oh, and also, did you know that you cannot retarget anymore on social? Law firms cannot retarget on social anymore.
Really?
I don't know when it kicks in, but Meta sent an email. It's like Google, they removed it.
And I wonder why.
Because they don't want a situation where like your partner is like, let's say they're scrolling through, like you're scrolling through your feed and then like a divorce ad pops up, like a divorce law firm pops up. So it's like,
So they're worried about your spouse getting on your phone?
No. What I mean is like, it's a privacy thing,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Like they don't want your kids seeing that you're getting ads for divorce, because why would you be getting ads for divorce? You're considering it. Or like a criminal defense lawyer, what did you do? Like, so it has to do with like, my understanding is it has to do, this is why Google did it, like privacy. And it makes sense, because when we look at health, finance, law, so your money or your life, it's a term that Google coined, YMYL. It makes sense. These are the 3 like pillars. Like we need these 3 things in our life to feel like the very like safety, right? Like the bottom of the, what's it called?
Yeah,
the hierarchy
of needs.
Yeah, but who did it? Somebody, I'm blanking on his name.
Maslow.
Thank you. So it's like it's like the basis for everything, right? So it makes sense when you think about it. It just kind of sucks. But anyways, my point was, everything is like so spread out that it's, again, you need multiple of those channels, because before there was X amount of channels, now it's doubled. So it intuitively, it makes sense.
Yeah. It's crazy because I built a lot of my firm on retargeting on Facebook. So
Yeah.
This is where things are constantly changing,
I have to like read the email and like talk to my team. I haven't had the chance to do that, but I do know that happened.
What do you think is going to be the like transition from, like, when are we going to get to the point where we say, hey, Google, with voice, tell me what law firm to hire? Because I think that's what we've all been waiting for.
I think it's a generational thing. My kids only search via voice. Only.
Right?
Exclusively.
I'm becoming that person.
Like they exclusively search via voice.
And how about, I'm going to ask you this. Are you still searching on Google, or have you shifted some of your searches to ChatGPT?
So I have shifted some of my searches to ChatGPT, 1000%.
Me too.
But what's interesting is I haven't shifted to like, I need a doctor or I need a dentist or
No.
a lawyer.
I don't feel like it's like a directory.
No.
I feel like it's like informational questions.
I do a lot of like, so I was like trying to come up with a new skincare routine and I wanted to know like which products wouldn't work with one another. So I was like, hey, if I'm using tretinoin, like what can I use this? Can I use that? And it was like, no, you can't because of this. And can I use moisturizer? Yes, you can. And I was like, okay, well, these are all the products I want to use. Can you come up with a routine for me? And it did.
So let's talk about the psychology of that. Why do you think you're doing that in ChatGPT rather than Google?
Because it's doing it for me.
And also, in my mind, you're thinking like the answer is probably more legit.
It's not that I necessarily think that. So to be fair, I also do it in Google and read the AI snippet that it gives me. So I do that too. But with ChatGPT or Perplexity, I feel like it's like computing all the access to information that it has to like customize an answer for me. Whereas with Google, I feel like I have to be the one to like do the research and put it together.
Correct.
And I find that, I mean, that's time consuming, right? Like to be honest, I probably wouldn't have researched all of these products independently and if they went with one another, right? But
Yes.
ChatGPT will do that.
You can ask it something that there may not have been that question asked on Google before. You can ask ChatGPT something like, who knows if someone said, do these 10 products go together?
Right.
That may not have ever been a query.
Right.
And like, it feels like in AI, you're kind of unlimited what you could ask.
Yeah.
What other weird things do you do with ChatGPT? Because I know I've heard like a lot of my
I don't
friends.
know that I've done anything weird yet, but what I did
Do you let it psychoanalyze you? Remember the
no.
one was like, you can ask ChatGPT, tell me about myself based on my searches.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm going to do that.
Like,
So,
yeah.
but
What kind of person am I, ChatGPT?
I mean, we can do it right now, actually. We'll do it right now. But you know what's interesting? Like, it contradicted itself.
Well, it's got hallucinations.
I know. So, like, that also worries me. So, for example, it was like, put on your moisturizer first, then tretinoin. But it had also told me that in order for it to be the most effective, you need to put tretinoin and wait 15 minutes to put on moisturizer. So then I called it out. And I was like, so which is it? And he's like, well, if you're sensitive, then you should put moisturizer first, then tretinoin. If you're not sensitive for optimal whatever, it's the other way. So you do have to be careful to not like, I don't take what it says to me and like super believe it. I do go to Google and like cross check.
Yeah.
And that gives me its own AI tool and that lists its sources, which I like. So then I can click on the source. And that's like what we do for our clients, right? We want them to be one of the firms quoted in the AI tool.
So it's like, how do we make the transition as law firms to get into the language model for searching that's going to be the basis for how people find law firms? That's, I think, if you're putting content in, you know, that's what people need to understand is coming. Like, if you're not in that.
Totally. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
What do I ask?
Tell me about myself based on what you know about me.
Based on your queries, here's what I can gather. Curiosity, practical thinking, being informed, open to learning. I hope this resonates with you. And then like it gave a description of each of those, but I'm not going to read it.
So you can let it like also switch into a voice. You use the voice setting?
No. I don't like that. I don't like
Where
the whole
it talks
voice.
to you like,
oh God, no.
Hi, Maria.
Have you seen how men are in love with their
yes,
girlfriend, ChatGPT girlfriends?
Yeah, because it basically starts to tell you everything you want to hear.
That's not good though. That's not healthy. That's not life.
That's not a healthy relationship.
No.
Yeah, but people
are a really healthy relationship.
But people are so addicted to stuff like that. Like I can see this taking off.
We're gonna be the creepiest, weirdest culture ever. I don't like it.
Yeah. Are you like using like your kids are using ChatGPT?
No, but you want to hear a funny story? I went to Sebastian's phone history because he leaves it downstairs and I like periodically check. And I saw that he was like playing poker, like, but in real time. And I was like, how is this possible? And Martin was like, he's probably on his laptop. It was like 10 p.m. So I barge up there and I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, nothing. I'm like, you were on your laptop. Like, it's warm. And he's like, no, I wasn't on my laptop.
He's playing poker.
And I was like, you were playing poker. He's like, no, I wasn't. I'm like, yes, you were. Don't lie to me. And you're Googling stuff. And he's like, how would you know that? And he was so confused. Like, he didn't understand the technology of like.
So it tells you what he's doing?
Well, because his phone and his computer are in sync.
Connected.
So I could see from his phone, you know, what he's searching,
doing.
Right? And how often. Because like, it's not supposed to be like an open access phone. It's supposed to be like a phone for school. And like, you know, he can text his friends and like, or FaceTime them, but like, he's not supposed to just be on the internet, right? So
there has to be a purpose.
Yeah. So like, we're like putting parental controls, like stricter parental controls on it. But it was just cute that he had no idea. He's like, how would you even know that?
I don't even know how he knows how to play poker.
Well, Marano taught him.
Oh, he did?
Yeah. The kids play poker with each other. But he was like playing online poker or Googling stuff about poker. I don't know if he was playing. I think
that's
he was Googling.
PG enough.
Oh, it was fine. I was okay with that. Like, it's not like he's gambling, you know?
Yet. The gateway. I started playing poker when I was 10 years old.
I mean, they also play chess.
So I recently found out a fact about you.
Uh-oh.
That I didn't know from another podcast, that both of your parents are lawyers.
So they both went to law school. Okay, neither practice.
That's very strange.
Yeah. So are Mariano's, both of his parents.
So, and then Mariano's parents are both lawyers.
Yes.
And then you're married to a lawyer. So you're like deep. I am.
And one of my best friends is a lawyer.
But like, it makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Like, even though you're not a lawyer, you are surrounded.
I know.
By lawyers.
Well, I didn't grow up with my biological dad, so I don't know that counts. But he did go to law school. He did practice for
Why
a few
did
years.
they go to law school and then not practice?
He didn't like it. So his dad, I guess my grandfather, I want to say he was a lawyer. So then he joined the practice. This was in Mexico. He didn't like it, so he left at some point in time. My mom, I don't think she ever meant to practice. So in Mexico, it was like so common that you went. So in Mexico, you don't do college then law school. Law school is college and it's a 5-year program.
What?
Yeah. There's no college first. It's just a straight up 5-year program. In Mexico, it's very common. There's even like a term for it. Like women go to college while they're looking for a husband. It was like super common back in the day. It's not common now.
Is this like finishing school or something?
It's like, just like you go
where you go to meet the successful men. You got to go to law school.
Yes.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I know. So I think she just went to like that was just what you did. Like
so
literally,
she wasn't like, I want to be a lawyer.
No, she would have been a horrible lawyer.
What about Mariano's parents?
So his dad is still a lawyer to this day in Chile. At some point, he was the attorney general.
Wow. Oh, yeah, he's told me that.
He's successful. He's very successful. His mom didn't like it. Yeah. I think she practiced for a minute in Chile and didn't like it.
So, like, you're the only non-lawyer in that group when you get together?
And Mariano's brother is a lawyer, too.
Yes.
2 of his brothers.
Well, and then you mentioned on the podcast that Mariano's family is like been lawyers for like 12 generations.
Yeah, it's like it literally goes down, I think, 13 generations. It's crazy. They have a plaque with every single name, like going down, like
do you think
for generations.
Sebastian's going to be a lawyer?
1,000%.
Really?
Oh my God, Sebastian he's in speech and debate. He loves it. That's why he wants to switch schools, because he wants a better speech and debate program. And he's like so academic, which is crazy to me because like that's not how I was. So he's already like wants to go to a good school. He's in 6th grade because he wants to go to an Ivy League school because he wants to go to an Ivy League law school.
I can see him doing that.
Yeah, me too.
That's so
I mean, I don't know what that will look like so long from
What
now.
will law? Okay, so we're here at AAJ, and I was talking to somebody just before I came up here, and I was looking through the app, Huva.
Yeah.
And I was showing this person, they're not a lawyer. I was showing them like what's going on, all the events today. It was kind of funny. It was like child sex abuse litigation lunch. It was like all these dark topics.
Yeah.
Like really
Dude,
dark
yesterday,
topics.
Who was telling me that they were a lawyer in terrorism?
Yeah. They had
fuck?
police misconduct lunch. I'm like, like the person's like, we're so used to it. Like,
Yeah.
this is a dark world, especially a lot of the mass torts. And
it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I'm curious what's going to happen in the future.
Me too.
Like,
especially with like driving cars or whatever they're called, like whatever you call them. I mean, I do think that by the time our kids are adults, they're not going to drive a car.
I think things are going to radically change. And I think there's massive consolidation coming to our industry.
No, you think that?
I do. I'm part of it.
I know. That's what.
But I think that there'll always be a need for lawyers. And
lawyers.
Any lawyers, honestly. I'm going to say that I will stand by that because I think people, when you think of what a lawyer is, it's somebody who stands up for other people, advocates for other people.
Yeah.
I still think fundamentally people struggle to advocate for themselves.
Yeah. But anyways, let's shift gears.
So we're here at AAJ in Miami.
Yes.
You didn't have to travel far to come today.
It was such a shit show though.
Why?
Because I didn't pack anything. Like, I don't know. I think it's just, and it happened to me at NTL too. I think it's the thought of, oh, I'm so close, but like, I'm not that close. I would never go home to grab something and come back.
So you were not strategic about packing?
At all. I threw a bunch of shit and then I was like, oh, I got here and I was like, I have nothing. Like, what the fuck was I thinking? I wasn't, because I was like,
You're just like
just
throwing
one day
stuff in a bag.
Yeah. No, it was not productive. I forgot my hairbrush, my moisturizers. Sabina had to come in here in the morning to bring me stuff because I was like, I forgot everything.
Let me ask you this. Traditionally, what is your packing routine?
I pack typically 1 or 2 days before. I try everything on.
Me too. Hold on.
It's like a whole ordeal.
It's an entire process.
Total process.
I need to try on every outfit and I need to make sure I have every accessory, like purse or belt or whatever.
Me too.
And I have to like make sure like the whole outfit is complete.
I just have one issue.
Okay.
Like, I very much like to dress how I feel. So sometimes
Options.
I pack and then I get there and nothing resonates. And then like, I feel like it messes with my mojo. And that's why sometimes you will see me at a conference and I'm like in jeans and a t-shirt and like flats and people are like, why are you not dressed up? And I'm like, because this is how I feel.
But so you just need to pack more options.
I do. So I try to pack in ways that even though I'm putting on the outfits and I'm like, this is what I want to take, I could interchange the outfits. So typically when I get in,
capsule wardrobe.
It is. Typically because everything's black, so it makes it super easy. But typically by the time I get in, I don't wear what I planned. I pick from what I brought.
I literally am the same way. And also like, I like my wardrobe for a conference or an event to kind of all go aesthetically together. Like, I don't want to, you're wearing all black.
Yes.
So it kind of all goes together.
Yes.
You wouldn't wear like a tropical outfit and then like a really modern, edgy outfit. Like, I feel like it has to make sense.
So for NTL, I used to wear more like tropical outfits.
I never remember that.
Because I don't think we were friends yet, but I would. And then like, I don't know why I stopped.
Because it's more on brand to just wear your normal vibe.
I mean, I'm not trying to create like a brand. I'm also like...
You are a brand.
I mean, I guess. But like, in terms of how I dress, I don't know if I think of it that way. And lately, I'm just like really exploring with like my style. Especially at conferences, like being edgier, because that is more naturally my style.
Okay, but we have to talk about this because what surprised me is when I came down to Florida to hang out with you when we went on our own vacation, not on conferences, you dressed totally different.
Totally different.
Like, I didn't even know who you are.
Yeah, so my day-to-day, I really want to do a TikTok where it's like what you think I look like, what I think I look like, and what I really look like on a day-to-day, because I don't wear makeup day-to-day.
You never wore makeup?
Like,
you were not wearing edgy clothes?
Very, very little. Well, we were at a resort, so like...
You're really casual.
I am casual day-to-day because I'm with the kids. So like, I will never wear heels.
Clothes.
I wear a lot of jeans. I love jeans. Jeans are like my thing. I absolutely love wearing jeans.
But I feel like I see you so often in a conference setting that like in my mind, it's like Maria wearing black with amazing done makeup and like
Yeah, that's not
the
my
edgy
day-to-day.
look.
Day to day, I have very little makeup on, if any, and I'm in jeans, a t-shirt, a belt, and flats.
It was also like that when we traveled to Mexico.
Yeah. But then when I got there, then I went like conference again,
I
but like beach conference
I'm pretty much at home either in full gym clothes or like fully dressed.
because you go into an office.
Yeah, I mean only certain days of the week, but if I'm working from home, I'm wearing gym clothes.
Yeah, I knew that.
But like I don't really have a good casual wardrobe.
I have a lot of casual.
You do.
I do, yeah.
I it's like dress to the hilt or gym clothes. Like I
Yeah.
need to expand my I don't really resonate with casual clothes. Like I don't feel myself.
See, I do.
I
When
know.
I'm with the kids, because I feel like it's just like a different
Mindset.
Yeah, it's just different.
So why is everyone so intimidated by you? Is it your wardrobe?
Is it? Does that play into it?
Like Terminator?
I don't know. So people kept asking me yesterday, like, Maria, why are people so scared of you? Like, why do I hear that you're so mean? I don't think you're mean.
You're not mean.
I'm like, I honestly like, part of me like.
You like it a little. You
Well,
like
no,
it.
it's not that I like it. I'm just like surprised that like people think that. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like I'm so little and like not intimidating and like, and
But
I
you know
just,
those little dogs that like they're little and they're petite, but
bark.
they have a loud.
And they bark.
Yeah, and they're like, you don't want to mess with them.
Yeah, I think it's just that, like, if I don't know you, like, I just don't trust you. And just given that this is like a male-dominated industry and, like, no offense, but sometimes, like, you talk to a guy and they take it the wrong way. And it's like,
Remember
so,
the
like,
time when the guy just tried to like walk up and
kiss me?
give you a kiss on the cheek?
And I had to push him away? That was
Yeah,
not
that was
fun.
inappropriate.
Yeah, so,
Those experiences have made you.
yeah. I also think I have social anxiety with people I don't know. I think there's this, like, misconception of, like, Maria has no anxiety. Like, I have a lot of anxiety.
You do. I know that.
And I have a lot of social anxiety.
I had no idea you would consider it social anxiety.
I have social anxiety with people I don't know because I
Okay.
don't know. Like, I'm very blunt, so I just don't know what situation I'm going to get myself into.
You don't know like the intentions.
Yeah. But if I know people, then I have zero social anxiety. And that's why I would drink at conferences, because I would walk into a conference hall or like an event and I would feel so much anxiety. And I was like, I need to drink. And it took me such a long time to kick it. Now it's just more frustrating. Like at AJ.
But remember the time we went to Georgia Trial Lawyers and you didn't know anybody really?
It was horrible.
And your anxiety, like, because normally we go places and everyone kind of knows.
But see, now I don't have anxiety. Now I guess I don't really have anxiety because it happens at AJ every time. It's more like, I don't know anyone. This is like boring. But I'm not anxious, but I'm also not trying to talk to anyone.
I think this is such an important conversation because like this is a real thing that people experience. Like a lot of people have social anxiety in these types of environments.
I think most people do.
I don't at all.
I know you don't. No one thought you did.
Like it's so interesting to me that people really like feel that way.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I'm just like, I'm thankful I don't have that.
I think if someone thinks I'm mean or scary or intimidating, they should come up to me and be like, why are you so intimidating? And that'll break the ice because I'll be like, I swear to you, I'm not, if you get to know me.
We're like a dynamic duo because like people think you're mean and people probably think I'm too friendly.
Yeah.
Like it's like
you are
the opposite.
Friendly. Yeah.
Like, yeah, like we're a balance. If I could have like a little of you and then you have a little more friendly of me.
But you don't think I'm mean.
Not at all.
Because
and
you
I
know
never
me,
did.
Because you know me well.
Yeah, like I thought it was funny when I actually remember somebody was like, oh, Maria. But I was like, I've never had that experience because we got to know each other and like maybe my over friendliness, broke through. But then once you are comfortable with somebody, like you're really like, it's one of the kindest people.
Thank you.
And one of the best friends.
I am a good friend. I know.
You're a good friend. You will like ride or die for your friends.
I will. I think people are intrigued by our friendship. Like, they're like, are you real life friends with Jen?
We really are.
I'm like, yes.
You're like one of my go-to people. And I've been through like such a hard season in my life. And you were one of the people that was really there for me in the worst of times, like
Yeah.
checking on me. We also have a friendship where you like will check on me and I'll check on you, but like we're not like really like
We're not needy.
controlling or needy of each
We're not
other.
needy.
I'll be like, I'll see you later. You see me later. If I don't see you, it's
We're
cool.
like guys.
Yeah, it's not like
No drama.
no drama. Like I
We
don't
talk shit out.
Yeah. Yeah. And if there's something, we just say, like, this is bothering me.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. And I'd rather have one friend like you than like 50 these like acquaintances, you know.
I think I'm also really blunt. So
And I love it.
I'm not for everyone. Like if someone is like really sensitive, I'm probably not gonna work because I am going to tell people the truth.
But I think that's the kindest thing you can do, honestly.
I
Is
think so too.
To be
You
honest.
always know where you stand with me. Like I think that's a luxury. Like how many people like do you always know where you stand with them?
It actually really upsets me when people come up and say, like, I think things are cool. And they'll be like, yeah, I've been brewing for like 6 months and I'm really mad.
I can't handle that.
And I'm like, why didn't you say something? Like, I thought we were good, you know?
I can't handle that.
But that's like really a thing I've experienced.
Yeah, I would argue most people are like that, or to some extent. And don't get me wrong, I'll brew for a day or two to calm myself down. But like never for like months on it, and never. Like I like to talk shit out with people.
Yeah, like just get to the point.
Yeah. Plus it doesn't happen often, to be honest. Not with my friends.
No. I also think we have like very similar like weird childhood things
Yes.
that have drawn us together. We have like the same childhood trauma.
We have a lot of the same childhood trauma. So like when people are like, but like, so you and Jen are friends outside of this space, it's like, yes, like we talk about our childhood trauma. We talk about our families. We talk about our marriages.
The mindset stuff.
The
lot of
mindset stuff.
The personal coaching therapy.
Like mothering, you know.
All the
and
guilt.
Then we talk about this.
Business.
Yeah.
Business. And then we have a lot of similar, like we know a lot of similar people.
We have the same
so
friends.
A lot of connections.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't even know why people would think we would have a not real friendship. That's just wild.
Yeah. Well, someone once told someone like, I don't think, this was like one of the worst ones I've heard. And I'm not going to call out who it was, but I do know who it was. Someone once said to someone else, I don't think Maria has any true friendships.
That's such a lie.
And the person said, like, you're wrong. I actually do think that I am like friends with Maria, like legitimately.
Yes. And also you have like some, like Sabina is one of your, like you have some friends that have been with you since you were like in middle school.
Yeah.
I don't have that as much. Like I have a couple, but like these are people in your life today
that I've had forever. Yeah, I've had a lot of friends from childhood. I still have a lot of friends from childhood. So I just think they meant in the legal space.
Oh.
Like all of her friends. But I think it's like they were hurt that I didn't want to be their friend, or that it didn't appear that I was being their friend. I am selective. Like I will
say when you're not interested in somebody,
maybe that's why I'm scary.
There's no. You'll be like, I'm not hanging out with that person.
I'm just really big on energy, and like I'm very quickly know, do I like you? Do I trust you? And sometimes it's like people sometimes like I have a lot on my mind like at these things. So sometimes people don't register.
You're working hard at these events. Like sometimes you're doing like 5-6 podcasts in a weekend.
I think the most I've done is what? 9, 8?
Oh my God. Was that at Mardi Gras?
I think at Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras, you were working.
Not this time I was, but the time before was even worse. Come in.
Hey.
Hi, Sarah.
Welcome.
Hi, Sarah. Sarah Williams just walked in. All right, so let's wrap this up.
Maria.
Yes.
What is your vision for 2025? What's going to be the hot thing this year in SEO?
I don't know. I really don't.
No predictions.
I think we're going to move more and more towards a blended cost per case.
And a more competitive environment.
Yes.
And the people that made the decision to start SEO 5 years ago are going to be ahead.
1,000%. Yeah. Like, I think people need to get on it now. What?
Is there still a lot of opportunity if people
1,000%. Oh my God, absolutely.
What percentage of firms even do SEO?
I
Isn't
have
it
no
still
idea.
quite small?
No, I think it's quite large. I just think that, I mean, it's a race. There are limited number of spots, period. You're either ranking or you're not. You're either like, it's not like, it's supply and demand. That there's just very few spots. That you can't open up more spots.
And
That's
you're
not
always
how it
like,
works.
you want to only be in the top spots.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
In life in general.
Thank you.
That's our mentality. Well, it was a pleasure catching up with you.
Thank you. Thank you for
on
taking
your
over.
World famous podcast.
You know, people thought you bought the podcast from me.
Literally, when I did the episode where I took over, people were texting me like, can I get on your podcast now that it's yours?
So they didn't want to be interviewed by me when I gave Ashley shit yesterday. I'm like, you finally come on my podcast, but you do it with Jen.
Yeah. Listen.
I give Brian White so much shit. I'm like, so you'd rather have Jen?
He came all the way to NTL to come on. It was great. It was so nice. Yeah, that was actually the best, funniest episode.
I haven't finished it, but I need to finish it.
Well, to be continued. We will catch up again.
Yes. Thank you for
crushing it, as always.
Okay. Thank you, Jen.
Thanks.